Good afternoon and welcome to St. Paul's Church in Beaufort, North Carolina, and especially to Children's Chapel at St. Paul's Church. We hope that wherever you are happy, you're safe, you're comfortable, and we know that you're loved. What we hope to do today is to spend some time together and learn a little bit about who this God is who's made us and who's loved us in this life and in the next. And I have my trusty Mary Poppins bag here filled with all kinds of things that are going to help us do that. Right now I'm imagining all of you all over town in your houses, or maybe in your bedroom at your desk, or maybe on your couch in your den, or maybe you're outside on the front porch sitting in a porch swing. I know it's a very strange time not being in school and not being able to see your friends in all the usual ways. But one of the most important things to remember right now is that we are all part of a family. We are all part of the household of God. And your house and my house and the church house or God's house are all connected together as if by an invisible string that runs from house to house to house and all the way back to St. Paul's on Ann Street. So one of the things that we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about what we do when we come into God's house and we live out our life as part of God's family. So in my trusty Mary Poppins bag here, I have lots of things that are going to help us do that. And I'm wondering if you are thinking out loud with me about what it means for you to come into church. What kinds of things happen when you come into church? Well, some of the things that I'm thinking happen are, first thing that we do when we come into church is we light a candle, right? So we're gonna light that candle right now. Can you see that light? Call that the light of Christ. And it invites us to welcome Christ into our midst, or to say right back to Christ, we are here with you. So we're going to put our candle down. Let's put it where you can see it. So that's the first thing that we do. So if you're at home, perhaps you can take a flashlight that you might keep by your bed and turn your flashlight on, or you might have a little candle that has a little battery in it and you can just flick a switch and it'll pretend like it's real fire. Or if you're around your mom and your dad and you have access to a candle, they might light that candle with you. But that's not something to try on your own. That's something to ask your mom or your dad or your grandmom or your favorite babysitter or somebody who's allowed to use a real candle to help you with. So we light a candle, and then the next thing that we do after we've invited the light to come in is we listen. And one of the ways that we listen, I like to ring a bell. And I ring the bell 3 times and I do my very best to listen as carefully as I can till I can't hear the bell anymore. So I would like for you to try that with me. Okay, you ready? Can still hear it? Can you? We listen for that bell until it stops ringing, and that lets us know that we're listening for God. Just like God listens to us, we listen for God. When we ring a bell, we can hear it inside of us. It kind of beats deeply inside of us. We can kind of feel it sometimes, especially when we ring a big bell, like we do outside on Sundays with our big bell outside at church. But when we listen carefully, like you just did when you were listening so that you could hear that sound until it was no more. So one of the other things that we do in church or in our sacred space at home, which is like church, is we listen very carefully. So we light a fire that says the light of Christ. Then we listen for God carefully. And one of the things that binds us together as a family is that we all have heartbeats, right? We all have a heartbeat. And sometimes if we listen really carefully, we can hear our own heartbeat. And when we hear on our own heartbeat, you can do that with me right now. You can put your hand over your heart. If you get really quiet, you can feel it sometimes. And if you put your hands over your ears, you can hear it. That's the heartbeat of God. That heartbeat that's in all of us. Every one of us, no matter where we are. Remember that invisible string that binds us all together as the family of God. It also binds us together through that heartbeat as we listen for the heartbeat of God. So those are the two most important things that we do in church. We welcome Christ in our life through the light of Christ in our life, and we listen for Christ in our life, and we listen for the heartbeat of God. So every time we gather together from now on, we're going to light our candle and we're going to ring our bell. The next time that we get together, I'm going to talk to you about a new way to pray, and it's called praying in color. So I want you to have a pad of paper ready, and I want you to have whatever you like to color with, whether that's markers like I have in my special bag. Let me see if I can find them. Here they are. I use Super Tips washable markers, and some of you got some of these in your Sunday school buckets last week. So whatever you have in your buckets you can bring, or maybe you have something at home you like better. Somebody told me that they had a box of 100 crayons that they really liked to use, and that was their only thing that they used to draw with. So bring whatever you like. And last but not least, I want to draw some letters out for you so you can remember what we talked about. So we talked about the light, right? So we spell light. There's an I and an H and a T. I'm missing an L and a G. Let me see if I can find an L and G in my bananagram bag. I'm sure there's one in here somewhere. Whoops. If we can find an L and a G. There's an L. L-I, and I think I need a G. There's a G. Light. And we listen. So we need an E, and we need an N, and we need another I, and we need an S, and we need another N. Let's see. Gotta keep looking in my bag, right? I think we need a T. L-I-S-T-E. Need an L and an N. There's an N. Now I've got to find an L, and I think we'll have it. There's the L. So light and listen. So I'm going to ring the bell 3 more times, and that'll let you know that we're through with our lesson for the day. And I want you to go away from our lesson today And remember that you are part of God's family and that you are very much loved. And I want you to practice this week listening for your own heartbeat and know that you are part of the heartbeat of God.